Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. It is me, Desiree, and today is going to be a quick one because I just want to go over the products I shopped my stash for a couple weeks ago. I think I'm going to do the shop my stash videos every other week and keep the products for 2 weeks. I was trying to do every week, but I found that it was too much stuff to get to know in a week. So I'm going to do shopping my stash on a Sunday, and then in 2 weeks on the Saturday, I will talk about whether I'm going to keep or declutter and then shop the stash again the following day. So let's go over the products I shopped my stash for 2 weeks ago and whether I'm going to keep or declutter these items. I had a lot of fun with all this makeup because some of it was stuff I hadn't used in a while, makeup I had never thought to pair together, and I was just really enjoying myself a lot. So let's start with the palette. I forgot to get it out. This is the Anastasia and Carli Bybel eyeshadow palette. I know some people get freaked out with the little dots on here, so I won't show it for that long. This is the palette. It is so pretty. I never in a million years would have pulled out this palette to use if I was shopping my stash on my own accord. Like if I was trying to pick out something, I wouldn't have picked this. All of these products are things I blindly picked. I will link that video down below in case you want to see me picking the products and trying them all out. I am going to keep this palette. I had a lot of fun with it. There was a shade here called Jode, this one right here, that was so pretty. Like this super shimmery, purpley, taupey color. It was really pretty. The palette isn't very, like, beginner friendly. Like, I don't have an imagination at all when it comes to putting together a makeup look or putting together an eyeshadow look from a palette, and I feel like this palette was kind of confusing to use because I found this kind of just all over the place. I feel like when they put this together, they weren't really thinking of a cohesive palette. They were just kind of letting Carli Bybel pick shades she really liked and then putting that in a palette. I found this kind of confusing a lot of the time, but still very pretty shades, and I'm glad I have it, and I'm glad I got to use it for 2 weeks. I'm gonna keep that. I was just gonna say it again. The Glossier Future Dew Oil Serum Hybrid is something I've talked about here before. I did a whole video. It was like a 6-month update on a Glossier order I placed, and I talked about this in that video as well. This is an oil serum hybrid. You can use it as a skincare product or a makeup primer. I love the scent on this. I don't know, it just smells like eucalyptus or something. It smells really good. But it can be intense if you use it as a makeup primer. And I never really liked it like that before because it was just too much. They do say to apply 1 to 2 pumps all over your face. Oh no, it says 2 pumps all over your face as the last step in your skincare routine. I think that's great to do at night because this is a really like heavy duty feeling serum, and it just feels really rich. It definitely will take the place of your moisturizer as a nighttime skincare step, and I really like to use it like that. They also say add it to the high points of your face for extra glow. You can use it as a little bit of a highlighter, but these last 2 weeks I used it as a face primer. I loved it. I would not have picked this to use as a face primer if I was picking things on my own, but I blindly picked this and I was like, I'm gonna use it as a primer. And I actually came to look forward to using this just about every single day. I don't use a whole pump though. I think 1 whole pump is a little too much. Half a pump, put it all over your skin. It just adds this nice radiance and glowiness to your skin, and then makeup goes on top of it so well. I loved this as a face primer. I'm definitely going to keep this. And I think it worked perfectly with the foundation I picked out for the week, which is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. I loved using this so much. This is another product I came to look forward to using every day. I thought it worked perfectly with that primer. Because the primer is a little bit, I guess depending on how much you use, it can be a little thick. This is a really thin foundation, and I think it worked really well with a little bit of a thicker primer base, I guess. The coverage on this is kind of light. You can build it up. I would say to get like a maybe the light end of medium kind of coverage, but this isn't meant to be something heavy duty. It feels really light on the skin as well. I really liked this, and I just think it worked really well with the primer. It is a squeeze bottle, so I kind of find the squeeze bottle kind of it's kind of cool looking, but you get a different amount every single time. Like I'm never gonna get the same amount like as if you were to pump out one pump from something. This is like, I might get light coverage one day, I might get medium coverage one day just because of how much I'm using. Loved this though, and I loved using it for 2 weeks. I absolutely am going to keep that. The powder I picked out was the L'Oreal Infallible Freshware Foundation in a powder. This came out not too long ago. I have the shade 120 Vanilla, and I thought I didn't like this powder for a long time, and then I came to love it. Then I didn't like it. Now I love it again. I love it again. I think it worked really well with the light coverage foundation because this adds a little bit of coverage to your skin. It is a powder that feels a little bit thicker, I think, so I start slow. I use a really big fluffy brush. This is the one I was using. Something big and fluffy, and kind of just patted it all over my face. You can use this as a powder foundation as well. I haven't tried it like that, but I love using this just as a setting powder, adds a little bit of coverage. It does have a scent to it though that I don't love, but the scent does go away. It doesn't linger at all. It smells exactly like the foundation, the Infallible Freshware Foundation, so if you know that smell, it smells just like it. But I did come to like this powder a lot. It is easy to overuse it, and it will look cakey and powdery on your face if you use too much. But I find just a light layer kind of adds a little bit of coverage to the skin, and I really enjoyed it. And also, one thing I didn't mention was that these two together worked so well that I didn't use any concealer on my face. I just really love the coverage I got with the foundation and then the high coverage powder. I loved it. And then speaking of concealer, I had the Benefit Boing Cakeless concealer. This is the one I was using. I did end up only using this on my under eyes, and I loved it. I loved it so much. When I tried it out on camera though, I thought it looked a little too light under my eyes and a little too brightening and a little too much. I don't know, I just wasn't used to it. It is a little bit too light for my skin tone. Like when I put it on like as a concealer on my face, it looks kind of white wherever I put it, like a little too light. But on the under eyes, I loved it. It's really, really thin, and a little goes a long way. So I was just getting this and putting like a little bit right here and on here, and then using that and blending it around where I wanted concealer under my eyes. I didn't like do a big swipe because I feel like a little bit went a long way. It has such high coverage for how thin it is. And I just really loved it. It did not settle into fine lines at all. They do call this cakeless concealer, and it is totally true. Didn't settle into fine lines, didn't look heavy or thick or anything like that. Really, really enjoyed that concealer, especially on the under eyes. Gonna keep it. This is the CoverGirl True Blend So Flushed High Pigment Bronzer. I thought they only had one shade of this. This is the shade Sunset Glitz, but they do have another one I saw the other day at the store, like a little bit of a darker one. I actually didn't love this bronzer. I just found it too light. I thought you had to put on a little too much in order to get it to show up. But when I was using it these past 2 weeks, for some reason, I loved it. I thought it was like the perfect amount of bronzer. I didn't feel like I needed to build it up whatsoever. It does look like it's a matte bronzer, but it does have a satin finish, and you can't see it in the pan, but there is a little bit of gold shimmer in it. It's not very obvious, but it does add a little bit of glowy gold tone to the bronzer, if that makes any sense. I did end up really liking this. I am going to keep it, and I'm glad I used it again for the 2 weeks because I was going to declutter that because I just thought it was a little meh, but I don't know, it grew on me. A highlighter that I have to keep, of course, is the Becca Luster Glow Powder in the shade Pearl Glow. I know Becca is no longer around, but this was Shop My Stash, so I'm just using what I have, and this is beautiful. Absolute beauty. Look at it. Just look how it's pressed in the pan. I am only using it from one section because I don't want to mess up this beautiful thing. This is a really nice pearly, pinky, just beautiful color. It's not an obvious kind of pink on the skin, so I don't feel like I have a bunch of pink highlighter on. It's just enough to add this nice, I don't know, pinky glow, and I absolutely love it. Gonna keep it. The blush I used was from InStudio Cosmetics. This is a little brand that was at Walmart for like the blink of an eye, and then it was gone. Everything I think was $1 or $2. This is a blush in the shade Pink Flamingo. No, Pink Lemonade. Pink Flamingo would be a good name for this too. Love it, gonna keep it. Not gonna go on too much about it because it's no longer available. The Believe Beauty Makeup Perfecting Setting Spray. Loved it, gonna keep it. It's a really fine mist and it almost feels like you can't mess it up. It never has big droplets. I find that no matter how many sprays I was doing, it always felt really fine. This worked really well with that powder that I used all week because it just kind of toned down any powdery look I might have if I overdid it with the powder. Loved it, and it was such a great bang for your buck because I think this is under $5. It was wonderful. I pulled in the Tarte Surfer Curl Black eyeliner. I didn't show this in the video, but I decided to add it in because I found that some of the eyeshadows I was using from this palette, especially like the orangey one, that red one, they tend to make me look sick. So I tend to bring in a black liner to kind of add a little bit of balance to it. And I love this one. It is, oops. Oh, the back has a little sharpener. I didn't even know that was there. So this is one of those like super easy to use glide on gel kind of pencils. It's super, super black. It lasts a long time on the waterline. Love this eyeliner, going to keep it. I did lose the lid for a couple of days, and when I went to use it, it was really dry at the tip. So keep it capped on tightly, but I really liked that a lot. Maybelline Sky High Mascara, definitely gonna keep it. It's wonderful, doesn't transfer, it's lengthening, it's separating, it's a really good mascara. And then the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper. I went back and forth on this for the last 2 weeks. I really liked it, but it has, let me see if I can swatch it. It has a pinky iridescence to it, and I just found that sometimes it kind of clashed with what I was wearing on my face. I don't know if it's gonna show up on camera here, but I felt like sometimes it was a little too obvious that I had on like a pink reflective lip gloss or something. And I'm gonna keep it because I do like it. It also has a really like mint flavor to it, and it does kind of, I don't know, it gives your lips a nice refreshing kind of feeling. So if you don't like mint in your lip glosses, this is not for you. But I did like it. It wore a long time. It's a little on the thicker, stickier side, so it has a little more lasting power. Did like it. And I think the only thing I am going to declutter, this last item, is the LOreal Make It Double Eyeshadow Stick and Powder. I was really hoping to like this, but I think it's just the tone. So this is a double-ended eyeshadow stick. On one side you get a cream eyeshadow stick, on the other side is an eyeshadow powder. But they're not labeled on either side, and one side is a pull-off cap and the other side is a twist-off thing. And I found this so annoying. Every single week I was pulling on one side thinking that that was the pull-off cap and it was a twist-off cap. I don't know why, I just found that little thing annoying to have to deal with on this thing. Anyway, you get a little sponge here with the eyeshadow powder on it, and the powder is kind of just stored in the cap. So this is really pretty. It's very easy to use. This powder goes on almost like a cream. It wears all day. I'm not joking. So I swatched this on my hand, and I went my whole work day. I washed my hands with soap and water multiple times throughout the day, and this did not come off. I had to intentionally remove it at the end of the day when I came home from work. I was like, that is still there. So this powder eyeshadow wears like an intense cream eyeshadow. It will not move, it will not crease. It was really pretty as well. It's like a really nice champagne color. It was so easy to use. I really just got this little thing and just colored in my entire eye. It was super easy to use. The other side of the thing has a cream eyeshadow. I don't really like this color on my eyes, and although it feels super creamy like this, I found that if I had eye primer on first, this was impossible to blend. It would not move at all. But it is super, super creamy. It's just not something I feel like I'm gonna use that much because of the colors. It's kind of boring. That like creamy shade and then the champagne. It's just kind of like a kind of eye look. But I'm kind of talking myself into it now. I feel bad. Like I feel bad wanting to declutter it. I don't know. What do I do? Tell me if you have one of these. What should I do? Because right now, I'm at a standstill. But that is it. That is my little roundup of reviews on my Shop My Stash items. I was intending to do a keep or declutter, but I want to keep all of this stuff. I loved everything, with the exception of this eyeshadow stick that was kind of uninspiring. Everything else I love. But that is it. Let me know if you've tried any of these products. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions, as always. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you later in another video. Goodbye.